viva Mama Gertrude Shope, viva! Malibongwe! Igama lamakosikazi. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers, in particular the two Deputy Ministers of DECOM, Deputy Minister Mfeketo and Landers. I'm sitting next to my Gertrude Shope, one of our veteran stalwarts and all who knows Tambo, OR, and May Adelaide by name because they've gone through thick and thin. She kept asking me, Maid, if the president is not in the room, do we acknowledge him when we speak? I said, yes, ma'am. She asked me this question over and over again. We sought the permission, we got it, to host this first honor to OR Tambo from none other than the man who had worked the trenches with OR Tambo, President Gedleyihlekisa Jacob Zuma. He was to be with us tonight, but he had to be in 4 places in one day. You know he's got that magic broom also. But there was no way we could sit here the whole night waiting for him. So we promised that we shall live to his expectations on how to celebrate OR. I tried, but I don't have as beautiful a voice as he has, as you know. And I am not very good a dancer as he is. So I am not going to try and be him tonight, but I shall say, at least I sang one song, as we did yesterday when we left Parliament. The Dean of our Diplomatic Corps and our dear brother, Ambassador Mpoko, Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, we started very early in the morning in some vineyards with the diplomats because we promised this is their day. We promised this to all our members of Diplomatic Corps. We take this honor also to captains of industry who are in the room and all our sponsors, men and women in business, esteemed guests, led by the Oliver, Reginald and May Adelaide Tambo's family. I said to my sister, she said, I am OR's daughter. She is his daughter because he is her dad. I said to her, but don't forget that I also claim to be one of his daughters, your dad. And she agreed. So when we were admiring the painting, I said to her, Talon, these eyes, who in the room has eyes that resembles these beautiful and charming eyes? She said, I've got the eyes. And look at the lips. These are my lips and my eyes. But when I was sitting there right next to my mother, Stepani, and my mother, Gertrude, she looked at Tselane. She said, oh, this child looks just like her mother. Look at her eyes. So I am not going to enter that space of defining Tsalane's eyes. Safe to say that what an honor to celebrate OR's centenary. And say to the foundation, amongst the board members of our foundation, there's his worship. You call him his worship, the Bishop Makhoba. Our esteemed judge, I know you are in that panel, but let me claim Bishop tonight as Mutual. Because I also can claim you and declare you tonight. That yours is a very uphill task of championing this foundation, not only in Ekantolo, very, very critical, but keep the flag and the banner of OR, of diplomacy of Ubuntu globally. Indeed, the centenary of OR Tambo would start to celebrate that with the permission of the President and with his encouragement from corner to corner, from the ANC Women's League, my other cap. We said we will start the celebration tonight. I've got National Working Committee members here of the ANC, the ruling party, and of the Women's League. They are in the room. That we will start at Hamadi Nori from the Women's League side. In Janfes, Vaskukul. We will end up in Ekantolo. What we will be saying and doing, so we promise you, we are going to be championing this with you. His birthday starts in October. So I've done the OR and Adelaide Tambo walk, not run, the 5-kilometer walk. I promise that this October I will be there personally, and I don't cut corners. I do the 5-kilometer walk, and I will be there in honor of the stalwarts of ours. For us, this will start this year and it will end, just to take a pause, end of October next year. So those who are nimble-footed like Mohadi Smenya, join us. Put on your running techies. We're starting as Kukune Rofella Kokantol. Permit me that as we pay tribute to our forebearer OR, we also do not forget those who endeavored to walk in his footsteps in building this new nation we are celebrating. Like one of our national sports icons and former Springbok Captain Joost van der Rijsen, who sadly passed on earlier this week. Joost played an integral part in the team that gave South Africa one of its most memorable sporting events in 1995 Rugby World Cup Championship. It was at this Rugby World Cup that former President Nelson Mandela, who, if he was alive today, would be celebrating the fact that, or commemorating that he walked out of Victor Verster prison on this very day, on the 11th of February in 1990. I remember quite vividly that he was dressed in lovely green Springbok jersey, proudly lifted the Williams Webb Ellis Trophy. I'm talking about Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. This moment has gone a long way in entrenching the unity and cohesion of South Africa. It became the integral part of our journey of nation building. I can say without any doubt that Joost and his teammates made an immense contribution to the national reconciliation through their sporting excellence. That's why we could have Caster Mohadi Semenya standing here in front of us, proudly representing South Africa and collecting trophies across the world and championing the spirit that we are referring to. Let me once again say, as our president had said, on behalf of the government, the people of this country, we wish to convey once again our deepest condolences to the Van der Western family, friends, and sporting fraternity for the passing of Joost. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this ceremony, Ubuntu Awards ceremony, for the past 3 years, has been or has become a very important and popular program activity following the State of the Nation address of His Excellency President Jacob Zuma. It resonates well with our people and our collective desire to celebrate our own leaders and citizens who go beyond the call of duty in their respective industries to contribute to the betterment of this country as well as its general populace. This year's Ubuntu Award ceremony comes at a very special time as we are celebrating this in our democracy, 23 years of freedom, but also celebrating the sacrifices that our forebears had put life and limb first for all of us, and blessed that we still have some of them with us here. Amongst them, it's Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela. She's not in the room tonight. She's got a family member who's representing her in joining us in the celebration. I've also mentioned to you that amongst us here, we have Mama Gertrude Shope. When we were young, we used to sing songs about her. And I still threaten that I'll find a moment to do that. But one thing we do not do, which we should do tonight, is to say to all the families, the most renowned, well-known, the ones we normally don't even remember to mention names thereof. Ma Gertrude Shope was reminding me this evening of our first Treasurer General of the Women's League, who became a member of another party along the way. It was the end. But we don't forget the contribution of Umama Njobe. Because I now am in a fit and I'm feeling it is very hot to be a treasurer of an organization that doesn't have money. So this is the kind of sacrifice that these families have contributed. But above all, may we take this opportunity to thank them for having shared their dads, their moms, their uncles, their aunts with us. Because when I travel around the world and see less and less of my mother and of my children, I ask myself, if it's so tough in a free South Africa, it should have been tougher when we were still fighting for freedom. During the day, I was saying to those who know Johnny Makatini, one of those who tried to walk in the footsteps of O.R. Tambo, that there was a man who tried to follow in O.R. Tambo's footsteps, called Johnny Makatini, following on the diplomacy of Ubuntu, of a South Africa that was still not free. That in New York, a 5-minute walk from the UN General Assembly, there's a small, supposed to be Italian restaurant. They allowed Johnny Makatini to wine and dine diplomats there. And sometimes he would eat and walk away without paying because he had nothing to contribute. They'll just look at the other way and write in his book that his bill for that day was so much. So these are the sacrifices that were made by our people. But like O.R. Tambo, he never got back home. O.R. did. Walked back home on his feet with Matambo, but died before he could cast his first vote in 1994. Matambo did vote, and I know she voted correctly. Like Ma Gertrude Shope, they always vote correctly. You know what I mean. But Johnny Makatini did not, like O.R., get an opportunity to come back home prior to 1994 and cast his vote. We did. And as we do that, we should remember, and also remember to thank the families. Not to give them gold nor silver because we have none, but just to say thank you, our esteemed Judge Sachs. Thank you very much, all those who fought for our freedom in the room. You can turn around at this moment and just say, thank you for the sacrifices. I'll give you a half a second to thank the man or woman next to you. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. In OR, one of the books that celebrates his life, he says, and I quote, "Reconciliation, so crucial a retort to the counter-revolution and because and to survival itself, was simply an extension of Ubuntu translated into the inclusiveness and the human rights and of the Freedom Charter, in the Freedom Charter. These values have been inscribed in the Constitution that is celebrated the world over, that the African National Congress championed straight into our Constitution. Therefore, as I close quote, we should remember that that which we consider as the values and principles of Ubuntu have been enshrined in their Constitution by also our forebears, so that we do not lose who we are and where we come from. We will continue to do that. Champion diplomacy of Ubuntu, think globally, and act locally. I want to say to the Adelaide and OR Tambo Foundation, our journey of socio-economic transformation, the real uhuru that our forebears fought for, yearned for, died for, we have not achieved as yet. So, socio-economic transformation struggle is going to be even harder. But that's when we should resolve, all of us here, from Parliament to any other corner of the world, to make sure that our children get space to also become participants in the mainstream of the economy of the South Africa through the National Development Plan of SADC, through our regional strategic document and our industrialization strategy, through the African Union and our Agenda 2063 of the Africa we want, and the contribution we make through Sustainable Development Goals 2030, which is linked to our National Development Plan. So it's not yet uhuru if the majority of our young people are still spectators and are not in the mainstream of our economy. 23 years is very short. We should say this to ourselves as we reach out to Ubuntu, all our people in every corner of the village in the country, including those in OR Tambo's village in Ekantol. We should give them hope, but also much towards them. We should say we are coming. They must not dream about fresh water. They need to access it, because all of us have resolved to do so. As we say, we will think globally and act locally. It should be that when our friends extend their hands of friendship and say we want to contribute, when I say friends, I mean coming through the diplomatic corps members who are in the room, we should Bamba Lesandra, like we did, pleading to OR, that he must hold our hands so that we do not falter. Ours is about fighting the triple challenges in our country, in our region of SADC, in our continent. What are the triple challenges? Hunger, unemployment, and inequality. These things are not nice to say. They are a reality that we need to fold our sleeves, pull our socks, and make sure that we make this anomaly history. Africans cannot continue to be the spectators when they make more than 60% of our people are young, of the 1 billion population on the continent. That starts with South Africa's contribution. 60% young, many of them unemployed, Some of them are almost beginning to lose hope. Because, the likes of Bumukhadi, Semenyi. But now, 23 years, we said to them, we are a product of a miracle. We did not say to them, Castor, we are not a product of a miracle. We are a product of our people's struggle and support of through international solidarity. So no nation had achieved all it wants to in 23 years. It has never happened. I know you are very young, guys, and you are impatient. But work with us. Work with us for you, so that we indeed harness the youth dividends of our population, so that our people become their own liberators using our resourceful land, so that we beneficiate mineral resources. We don't join Bozamazama, illegal and illicit mining. No. That we do it right, we beneficiate, but we earn requisite skills. That when the government says, let's build a school in a canton, it shouldn't be that we will have somebody saying, no. Now I majored in biblical studies, but I want to be the principal of the school, of this technical school. You can't. You better go and join Bishop Makhuba. Because at a technical school, technology, so that we are able to unleash our potential and beneficiate on our mineral resources. Continue to think globally and act locally. That we do not lose connectivity, diplomatic and otherwise, between our villages and our cities. That if we are liberated and we live in Santon today, we don't forget that there's Meroring, there's Amakhuba, where some of us were born, and still people are still waiting there as they are waiting in Ekantolo. And I want to repeat, 23 years is not a very, very long time in a people's history, but we do not have to wait long like other countries in the continent have, because we have learned from what to do and what not to do. The other what to do's, as I conclude my speech because it's late, is every nation that wants to get full emancipation faster needs to unleash the potential of the left hand. Africans, like we have in many other countries outside our continent, have a tendency to think women are just good to be in the kitchen. I repeat this because I know that Mashopo would agree with me, that O.R. Tambo declared as early as 1981 that when South Africa becomes free, the women of this country would say the place of the women, of the South African woman, is where she wants to be. If it's in the kitchen, fine. If it's an engineer, fine. If she becomes an Olympiad and becomes a Caster Semenya, okay. Nobody should be saying, hey, no, apron. No. Because we will never realize our full potential if we do not do women favors. No. Just acknowledge their contribution because they are there. They are multitasked. When they are hungry, they eat last. When they go to school, they don't dodge. They go straight to school and go back home and help families, nurture families. They give life to start with. They nurture life. They don't do military coups. They don't just love peace. They make peace. That's why in my tradition, Khadi Ilim Twebu Tokoso. Khadi. Mr. Chairman of Standard Bank, Khadi, you can ask Mashopor Khadi King. When things are tough in the family, they call for want to come and make peace. But for some reason these days, when you talk of peace envoys at the UN, we think of men. A man stages a coup, The peace envoy becomes another man. We forget that we really have real peacemakers. They are still around us. We have to learn from them. But kasi in my mother tongue they say matlaku amaswa, I am a kamatal. I never stop learning from two true diplomats in action, true peace lovers and peacemakers like her, who are here with us tonight. I know that you didn't just come to eat and drink. You're here to say we are joining on this journey of Ubuntu, of humanity, of humility, that there's no better way we can say thank you, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on International Relations and all the members, to O.R. Tambo, than to leave his message. Walk in his footsteps and that of his beloved wife, Adelaide. I said certain things during the day, and I'm happy I said so then, because Mashope was not there, about the other preoccupation of Matambo when she was still around. She will remember what I'm talking about. But that's who they were. They wanted to become natures of life to the fullest. And let's walk on their footsteps and do the right thing by putting our nation first. Ke a leboga.